Hello, boys and girls. These are your corrections for comp quiz on January 24th to the 28th, so last week's comp quiz. Overall, not too bad, but we did have a few areas we need to go over and discuss. I'm going to remind you that you need to do your corrections either on a separate sheet of paper or with a red pen or another color of pencil or something, not in regular pencil, and you're not to erase anything on your original comp quiz. Let's get started. Our first problem was addition of whole numbers. I have three numbers here. My largest number is this one, 19,538. I'm going to put 5,903 underneath it, and then my smallest number, 236, underneath it. Now I have my numbers lined up by using the commas, but also don't forget there's a decimal point on the hiney of these numbers. Let's start in the ones place. 8 plus 3 is 11, and 11 plus 6 is 17. I write my 7 and I carry my 1. In the tens place, I have a 3 and a 3, which is 6, plus 1 is 7. I move to the hundreds place. I see a 9, so I'm going to do 9 plus 2 first because I can do that quickly. 9, 10, 11. And 11 plus 5 is 16. I write a 6 and I carry a 1. 1 plus 9 makes 10, and 10 plus 5 is 15. I write my 5 and carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, for a final answer of 25,677. If you missed this, try to find your mistake. Chances are you either got in a hurry and just made a silly error, or maybe you didn't line it up neatly. Remember, you can always use notebook paper to do your comp quizzes. In the second problem, we're doing whole number subtraction. 51,608 minus 24,289. Remember, with subtraction, we have to keep the order that we were given. With addition and multiplication, we can switch the order around. That's okay. But with multiplication, we can't, with subtraction and division, we can't do that. Let's start. In the ones place, we have 8 minus 9 ones. I can't do that. 8 minus 9 isn't going to work. When I go to the tens place, there's nothing there. So I have to go to the hundreds place. I'm going to take 100 away. That's going to give me 5 hundreds. And I'm going to change it to 10 tens. But that still doesn't help me in the ones place. So I'm going to take a 10 away, getting 9 tens, and add 10 to 8. 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 minus 9, that's a double. That's 9. 9 minus 8 tens is 110. 500 minus 200 is 300, comma. 1,000 minus 4,000. I can't do that. So I go to my 10,000s. My 5 becomes a 4, and 10 plus 1 is 11. 11 minus 4. Let's see. I'm going to count up from 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 7. 4 minus 2 is 2. So you should have ended up with 27,319. Now let's go down here to my decimals. Guys, you really surprised me here. Lots of you remembered how to do your subtraction, and you did very, very well. But you messed up over here. Let's take a look at the problem. Look up here. We have 41, decimal point on its hiney, 7 and 3/10, 9 and 28/100. All right, I'm going to put 3 decimal points, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to line them up like the buttons on a shirt. 41 goes in front. 7 and 3/10, 9 and 28/100. Now this funny looking mess can be made easier by putting 2 zeros back here, making this look like $41, and a 0 back here to make this look like $7.30. Now we start adding in the hundredths place. 0 plus 0 plus 8 is 8. 0 plus 3 plus 2 is 5. Decimal point. 1 and 9 is 10, plus 7 is 17. Write your 7, carry your 1. 1 10 plus 4 tens is 5 tenths. So we end up with 57 and 58 hundredths. And my decimal points are lined up. You might look at your paper and make sure if you didn't line up your decimals, that's probably your mistake. If you did line up your decimals, you probably just made a silly addition error. Over here in our subtraction problem, we have 35 and 4 tenths minus 9 and 84 hundredths. I put down my 35 and 4 tenths first. Subtraction, the order has to stay. I put 9, decimal, 8, 4. We're subtracting, but before I start subtracting, I fill in my hole. This time I'm going to go ahead and highlight my decimal points. That tells me my decimal point and my answer goes right here. 0 minus 4, I can't do that. I take a tenth. That's going to give me 3 tenths, or 3 dimes. That's going to give me 10 hundredths, or 10 pennies. 10 minus 4 hundredths is 6. 10 pennies minus 4 pennies is 6 pennies. 3 tenths minus 8 tenths. I can't do that, but I can think about dimes. So I'm going to take $1 away, and that's going to give me 10 dimes. 10 plus 3 is 13. 13 minus 8 is 5. Okay. Now I have 4 ones minus 9 ones. I can't do that. So I have to take a 10. That becomes 2 tens. And add 10 ones. 10 plus 4 is 14. 14 minus 9 is 5. And then I drop down my 2. 25 and 56 hundredths. Like I said, most of you did well here. Maybe a silly mistake. Let's take a look at our standard form. I was very pleased to see lots of people drawing their place value chart that we talked about. Remember, a horizontal line with 5 up and down lines. Hundredths, tens, ones, decimal point, tenths, hundredths. And if you want to put the numbers up here, you can. Remember, we look right here. This is tenths because it's 10 backwards. So I'm going to put a 6 in the tenths place. This is 100 backwards. Hundredths, I'm going to put a 5 there. This is the hundreds. I'm going to put a 7 in the hundreds. This is a 10. I'm going to put a 9 in the tens place. Decimal point gets dropped in, and in my hole, I need a 0. The most common mistake I saw was leaving off that 0. Let's go on to the back. Most of you did an excellent job on your first 2 multiplication problems because they're just reviewing single-digit multipliers. 24 times 9. 9 times 4 is 36. Write my 6, carry my 3. 9 times 2 is 18, 19, 20, 21. 216, and we're done. 3004 times 4. I always like to give you something with zeros in it to make you think. 4 times 4 is 16. Write your 6, carry your 1. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 4 times 0 is 0, and 4 times 3 is 12. 12,016. Then we had our 2-digit times 2-digit. Many zoos, many animals. In many zoos, many animals, remember we set up our problem 3284. Let's plan out our attack. We're going to multiply by 4 first. We're going to drop a 0. We're going to multiply by 8 next, and then we're going to add. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. Circle my 4 and drop my 0. Most of you did that line perfectly. 8 times 2 is 16. Write your 6, carry your 1 up top. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Now we add. 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. 1 plus 5 is 6. And then we have a 2 for 2,688. I saw a lot of addition mistakes where you multiplied again or you just did a silly silly addition error. All right, over here in our next problem, 22 and 46. Again, multiply, 0, multiply, add. I'm going to multiply times 6, drop a 0, multiply by 4, and add. 6 times 2, 12. Write a 2, carry your 1. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Cross that out because I've used it. Circle my 6, drop my 0. Now what? Multiply by 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. It's time to add. 2 plus 0 is 2. 8 plus 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. Write a 1, carry a 1. 8, 9, 10. 1,012. Now this last problem kind of made me mad. I'm going to be honest. You guys know how to do 70 times 80, and you should be able to do it without having to do anything on your paper. Because you should know how to do it without looking. So I'm going to make it bigger because we got to have this conversation. 7 times 8 is, thank you, 56. Now, how many zeros do you see, peoples? There are 1, 2. Maybe you should take your highlighter and highlight them. I don't know. But you need to put 2 zeros down here, not 1. Okay? Now, once you get your corrections done, I want you to turn those into the folder, and then it will raise your score on your comp quiz. I hope this helped. I expect these scores to get better. If they don't, we're going to have to do some homework. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.